Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Very warm afternoon welcome to all of you. I believe today, similar to all the other days, skies are pretty gloomy, but hopefully everyone is feeling good. Got some announcements of being able to go out and eat. Hopefully for those who are going out, please remember still do stay safe okay? Do stay safe and do be careful. Still a very sensitive time to be going out. But if you are going out, please do stay safe. Just wish a warm afternoon to all of our friends, Mr. Chua, Cynthia, GS, Chiwa. Thank you so much for joining us all the time. Beng Kian, Patrick Anthony, of course, always early. We have a Frank Lim that's joining us on YouTube as well. Very warm welcome to you. Thanks for making your time. I've tried it out on YouTube as well, equally as good as Facebook actually. Not much of a difference. Okay, for those of you who have just joined in, if you know your colleagues are coming in as well, do share the links. Do drop a reminder as well. Of course, we are all in this program of solidarity, so we all keep each other's energy up. We all keep reminding each other, and all of us keep contributing to this platform. If not by speaking, with your energy, with your constructive comments, with your constructive statements on the chat. All right. So this registration link, please do scan it. Try to register because all of the content, especially for today, there's a lot of content, there's a lot of slides. If you want it passed over to you, please do remember to register down on this link. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to some social media reminders. Our YouTube Solidarity Beyond 2021 channel is already filled up with all of our trainings. There are more than 30 videos uploaded there already. If you do have any young members joining you in or any of your other colleagues that have missed out the 3 p.m., just ask them to log in to Solidarity Beyond 2021. And whilst you're there, please do try to share, like, and subscribe as well. Okay, for those of you who are aggressive posting out the listings and networking, join our Facebook page, our WhatsApp group, or also our Instagram group. Those will be the places where you can see our big solidarity family. Everyone's there. So please try to log it in over there, okay? So now just to finish you all with some house rules before I introduce the speaker of the day. So simple house rules. Let's keep the chat clean, okay? Means on our right-hand side, or if you're using your mobiles, it will be at the bottom. When I say keep it clean means don't keep it empty. Keep it clean means no vulgar languages and no sudden sales of any retail products, okay? Keep it clean towards the topic of the day and towards statement and questions that you have for the speaker of the day or for the host. All right, so no Zoom bombing. Keep the chat room active. Be very participative. For example, if speaker is asking for some comments, please do. We highly encourage you to respond as well, okay? It keeps the speaker's motivation up. It keeps the whole team's energy up. So let's all move together in solidarity, yeah? So moving towards our topic of the day. All right, so very interesting because this is volume 1. As you have seen previously, we did industrial volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, which is shared by Aldrin Tan. So moving forward, we have also come out with commercial and also residential property, and we will do it in volumes. So we have it from basic all the way up to expert, all right? Then moving forward, we will develop the land one as well. Okay, so for our topic of the day, it will be commercial property volume 1. So it's all you need to know about the basics of commercial property, how to look at it, how to conduct yourself professionally, and how to approach this market, all right? And there's no better person than Dato Adrian Wang, the owner and founder of CBD Properties, to run us through it. Okay, in my time when I started real estate, there is barely anyone to coach you. All right, so I'm so happy to see in Solidarity that we are doing coaching on a daily basis. So whatever you all are able, the content, the information that is briefed and taught to you all in this last 90 days is probably what I learned in 6-7 years. all compressed, and now it's all even tabulated in YouTube. You don't have to come to the office to learn anymore. Okay, so without further ado, let's bring up Dato' Adrian.
Hi, good afternoon, Kai. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, Dato' Adrian. We are very excited to start your series of commercial properties.
Yes,
The
yes,
agents
yes.
are all ready. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands up. Let's wish Dato' Adrian a warm welcome. Let's give him our support and let's be interactive on the chat to continue to learn from him. Thanks, Dato' Adrian. Pass it to you.
Hi. Can you see my screen now? Kai, can you see the screen? Okay, good. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, my topic will be the commercial property. So in this volume 1, I'm going to bring every one of you how to identify and how actually look into the commercial space. But since this is a volume 1, I will start at the very general and some information about the commercial space, then followed by the volume 2 and volume 3. Basically, can I ask you, what is a commercial property? I think in the property line, we know that there is a residential property, there is an industrial, there also has the commercial property. So commercial property, basically, as we understand that this space actually is for business purpose, right? Or business activity or business related property. That means you can't actually stay inside the commercial property. Let's move to the how many type of commercial property in the market. Let's start with the shop lot. Those are the shop lot on the left hand side, the 2 or to 5 story kind of shop lot sitting down in the on the individual title, directly or indirectly facing the main road. Then there is also has a shop lot called shop office. Then they come with the strata office, then commercial at the ground floor. On top is an office space. Then after that, there is another kind of a commercial space that is called purpose-built office, which is you can see there are quite a number of en bloc building in KLCC, Damansara High, PJ Central. All these are purpose-built building per floor plate, talking about 10 to 20,000 square feet per floor. Then after that, there will be hotel and shopping mall. These are the most common kind of office, shop office and office requirement for commercial usage. Definitely, there are some others property fall under commercial property that's not listed here. Like for example, there are certain bungalow used for commercial space like SS2, Bangsa. The one we are going to touch it much later. What I want to do for this volume 1, I'm going to give a general information and then hopefully everybody, especially our new members who just join real estate, they know how to differentiate the commercial property. So commercial property actually gone through a lot of evolution. First, let's say we started the pre-war first, 1990, before World War I. Before World War I, there's a commercial property already existed in Malaysia. For example, like Malacca. Malacca, we know that it used to be the Cheng Ho or Zheng He when come down to Malaysia. So his first destination is actually to Malacca. So that's why the shop lot in Malacca, you can see there a bit of a Baba Nyonya kind of design. And some of the shop lot in Malacca also a bit of red color because of the Portuguese, because previously Malacca also have a Portuguese settled down and is a colony of the Portuguese. So that's why the building also some in red color with a lot of very beautiful architecture design on the face of the building. Then most of the shop lot over there are 2-story, ground and first. Then also Penang also having a very beautiful shop about in the during pre-war. You can see a lot of building come with the British design and European kind of tasteful design architecture on the surface. And then if you go to the Kuala Lumpur city center, especially near the Chinatown, near the Pudu, you can see those Masjid India. You can see those kind of beautiful shop lot are 2 to 3 story high. All this area is actually 1990 to 1960, which was built. Then after the shop houses, then when the demand is getting higher, So from 1960, which is after the World War II, to 1990, you can see some of the shop lot already started to change the concept. It used to be the shop house of people who stay actually at the first floor, ground floor actually for business. Now in this after World War II, some of the shop lot is purely designed for commercial use. Ground and first floor mainly for office space. And you can see Central Market, the Little India. The shop in Little India is very beautiful. KLCC Central, Taman Mega. All these places are even Bangsa Telawi. All this shop lot is actually within this era. You can see the shop a bit flat, not much design already. Then we go to the 1990 to 2010. Then it is a second evolution on the part one. People who actually occupied the first floor office start to think about they wanted to upgrade their office to a strata office. That means which provide better environment, security, management, the lift. Those commercial shop lot office are starting to move into the strata office. Ground floor, they still remain as the commercial space for retail, F&B, restaurant, showroom. But for office space, they started to build up to 10, 15 story high to cater the demand during this time. So the places like Megan Avenue, Plaza Mont Kiara, Wisma UOA in Bangsa, Oasis Square, all these are strata office which was built during this time. And after that, people starting to upgrade. For example, like CBD, previously we occupied the first floor office. I still remember in Damansara Utama. Then started to upgrade to our office in the Oasis Square Strata office because nicer environment, security, come with the basement car park, and all this facility. Moving future forward, we are going into the purpose building like a Class A building or a Class B building. Those are the en bloc building per square foot size, talking about 10,000 to 20,000 square feet. Because when the office business, when they enlarge and doing better, from the 1,005 square feet, they want to, let's say, expand it to the 10,000 square feet. You know that in the normal office, on the shop lot, it's very difficult to get 10,000 square feet, right? You have to probably punch through a lot of wall in order to get the 10,000 square feet. Or you are either have to go very high, but you know when the building is going very high, it's become inefficient. So you have, for example, you need 10 photostat machine. You have to need to have a 10 pantry, 10 access card. All this is very inconvenient. So when the evaluation, people are going to the bigger space, so the purpose of build office become better demand. And during this time, as you remember, during 1990, also Malaysia is considered one of the Asian tiger in the ASEAN market because our GDP was actually 8%, which is very high. Share market bull run also in 1990 to 1997. So the whole country economy are doing very well. During this time, the government also privatized a lot of government-owned company like Tenaga, like TMB, a lot of company were privatized, become a GLC. If you still remember in Bangsa, there's another telecom tower was built or something like a very insignificant icon tower in Bangsa. That is during the time in 1990 because the demand is high. People are getting very prosperous, so they want a bigger space to give them the corporate image to confirm their status in the market. That's why they're going into all this. So normally people who are actually going to all this Class A building, the first choice will be KLCC or Mont Kiara or Damansara High. Then lately you're going to Bangsa South or Mid Valley. So this one, I'm not going to touch it today. We are going to touch it on the volume 3. Okay, let's dive into the retail shop lot. During this time, 2020 to present, we also see the shop lot evolution to a very special kind of a commercial space. During this time, banks started to take first floor and second floor become their customer care office. And you can see some of the fashion designer office, also moving into the first floor. Korean, Japanese restaurant also started to occupy first and second floor to operate their restaurant business. Karaoke center. So when all these people are occupied the first floor and second floor office and become their commercial space, the rental actually is increasing. The demand of the office space already open much more bigger market. Previously it's only targeted for office space. Now they actually have a choice, either office space or maybe a commercial or use office space. Especially this one is a Surarisbon Kiara. When you go there, Surarisbon Kiara, you can see a lot of Korean restaurant, fashion store are actually occupy all this on the first floor to fifth floor. So basically ground floor is too expensive for them to running some business. This is the evolution. Then shop lot. So we come into the shop lot development. One thing, the character of the shop lot, I personally feel shop lot. One word I can explain what is shop lot is. The older it is, the more value. Just like man, a man when you're getting older, you got more value, right? A lot of people say that, right? Okay, same as the commercial shop lot, especially those 2-story. I don't know whether any one of you has been staying at this kind of shop house before or not. If you're staying in this kind of shop house before, can you type 1? I didn't personally experience staying in the shop lot because my family background are more on a salary basis workers. So we didn't run. My grandfather didn't run any business, so we have no chance to stay at this kind of shop house. But for those, let's say your grandfather or family are doing business at the ground floor, most likely you are actually staying the first floor before. Well, we got Brian Chin, we got Jocelyn, we got May Young. You actually experienced staying in that kind of shop house before. Is it something like when there's no business, the whole family move up to the first floor? When the people come to buy something, knock the door, you all rush down to open the door, let them to shop. Like these are the normal scenario that we see. This kind of shop lot is, if let's say you still occupy, you still own this kind of shop lot, today I tell you the value of all this shop is become very valuable, especially in Malacca and Penang, Georgetown. This kind of shop lot already become a UNESCO World Cultural Heritage Site on 2008. What is the meaning of become the UNESCO Heritage Culture? So become an antique. This kind of shop become antique. When you buy already, you cannot redevelop. You cannot tear down and 2-story. You cannot tear down and build 5-story. So the whole Georgetown and Malacca, Jonker Street, you have to maintain as the this kind of facade. What you can do is only improve. First, frankly speaking, you also can maybe apply some fund to upgrade or to maintain the kind of facade. So this will be the 2-story very antique shop. This kind of shop lot also you can find in a lot of small town in Ipoh, Ipoh or Seremban also. These are the shop, and we come to this kind of shop. I frankly speaking, I hope one day I can own this kind of shop lot in my lifetime. A very special kind of shop lot. The size is about 25 or 22 feet. The length is about 120 feet to 140 feet. You can see this kind of shop in Chonga Street on Georgetown. When you walk in, actually you can see the airwell. Sorry, sorry, I disturbed us. All right, you can see the airwell inside the building, and it's make the architecture very nice. And you know this kind of shop is so long, so you need the airwell to let the sunlight to come into the building. So the facade is very Baba Nyonya kind of architecture design. But this kind of shop lot now they use it as a commercial. In fact, they use it as a hotel to let people experience staying in this kind of the property. Then after that, when you come to the 1960 or 1990, this kind of shop lot, for example, the shop in SS2 in Bangsa, especially this photo at my right hand side, the TMC. The ground floor is a TMC grocery. Then on top there are some apartments. During this time, because due to the demand of the houses increased due to the population, especially after World War II, our population start to increase. The baby boomers start to give a lot of child. Each family have easily 5 to 9 children. So the demand of the residential start to increase. So they built certain apartment on the commercial shop lot. You can still see this kind of shop, 5-story kind of building in Bangsar old area. So normally when this shop lot was built in this kind of commercial shop lot area, the size started when 26 by 80, 24 by 75, or 22 by 75. The later it is, the shop lot are become tiny, narrower and shorter already, because due to the land cost getting more expensive. And in city center, now recently you also can see some of the shop in city center in KL area, like Jalan Pudu, Masjid Jamid, all this area. You can see from the 2-story, they started to rebuild into 5-story because the land cost is so expensive already. Investor when buy over, they basically need to build higher in order to get a better return. But anyhow, the property, the land is belong to you. You can actually submit to the local council to do rebuild into your design. As long as you are fulfill the car park requirement, they allow you to build. And this area, they allow you to build higher, doesn't mean to fulfill the car park, because this area is very close to the MRT station and LRT station. And those shop lot near this area, you can get a waiver to build extra car park. And during this time, the 2020 to a present, most of the shop lots started to increase, to build much higher, increase from the 2-story to 5-story. Basically, 5-story shop lot, I personally seldom see in the market, except like Kuchai Lama, come with lift, because people doesn't like to climb out through the staircase is without the lift. So 5-story shop office is not very in good demand, and absolutely price is become very expensive. Not every investor can afford it. The land size are talking about 1,004 to 2,000 square feet, range from 22 by 70 all the way to 25 by 80. And car park requirement for this kind of shop under the council of Klang Valley, KL or Selangor, is 500 square feet for one bay. Say you want to build 5,000 square feet, you need to provide 10 car park. Basically, these are the calculation. And then the shop lot, either you want to put the escalator inside or lift inside, is up to you individually whether it makes sense or not. Because if you put the lift inside the shop office, you need to maintain the lift, and it's not cheap. Range from about 500 ringgit to 700 ringgit per month to maintain the lift. And then if those shop lot is under JMB, during the 1997 to current market, because of the market demand of commercial space increasing, a lot of people wanted to own a shop lot and shop office, but the investor doesn't want to spend so much, $1 million of investing it. They probably buy a small office space or small commercial space at the ground floor or retail space. So this kind of commercial property is fall under property management, and you have to form a JMB to form. If those property without JMB, like individual title, the local council will maintain all the road, street lighting, and the cleanliness. Everything is under the local council. Basically, if you are the owner of the shop, you only need to pay the clearing and assessment for the local council to maintain the basic things, throwing rubbish. Let's say you got a big hole on your road, the local council or DPKL will come and tile it without charging you individual any fee. But let's say this one is a strata title, whatever road between your compound, within the development compound, basically the JMB had to spend the money to pave it. They are basically the shop lot got two title, or especially there is a freehold in leasehold in Malaysia, the most commonly see, and also the landed or en bloc building or strata title. Let's us go into it. So this is one of the leasehold title, for example, inside the category of land use in the title is show for bangunan. Category penggunaan tanah is bangunan. Then since this is a leasehold property, they also mention pajakan selama tempoh 99 tahun berakhir pada 22 August 2089. That means by the time 22nd August 2089, this title or basically is expired. So probably you have to renew or pay certain premium to get renew a title. And inside the commercial title for this also stated tanah ini hendaklah diguna untuk bangunan perniagaan sahaja. This is in the express condition. It's stated for bangunan perniagaan. And this is on the second page of the title. You can see the title layout, which is you can see the width or length, total square meter on the title that you own. This is more on the individual title. It's stated this after you tabulate all this calculation is come out to be 20 feet by 80 feet length. This is a freehold title, also categorized as a bangunan. And here, since it is freehold title, the tanah yang diperhakkan di atas adalah dipegang untuk selama-lamanya. This word selama-lamanya is considered a freehold title. So tanah ini hendaklah digunakan semata-mata untuk rumah kedai. That means shop house. This title is considered the old title. Shop house, just now when I mentioned to you, the 2-story, the downstairs for commercial use, first floor actually for people to stay, this is considered rumah kedai. Then rumah kedai title also stated their width, length, and the total square meter. This one come out to be 22 feet by 74 length. This is a strata title for commercial. It stated hak milik strata. The layout of the title a bit different. Then he stated this is a lot subject property. Then he'll mention, okay, since you own this strata unit 2,000 over square feet, this out to be how is the strata title look like. Clear? Any question? No question? Then we move on. If you've got any question, you can type in the chat box later. Later after the presentation, I will answer one by one. Thank you. Okay, let's us go dive in about the commercial property. I would say there are so many successful commercial center in Klang Valley. You can name it SS2, Taman Tun, Puchong, Bandar Putri, and Taman Mega, a lot area at Subang Jaya. But I just take one of the example today to dive in how to select a good shop lot for your client. Okay, let's say we go into the shop and SS2. Basically, this shop SS2 developed by the developer in 1970 by the CEA Housing Corporation Sdn Bhd. So there are 20 block of shop lot, total 267 shop lots over there, and comprised of 2-story, 3-story, and some are even come with the mezzanine floor. Typical size is 22 by 75 or 24 by 80. As we know, why SS2 is so popular. If you go to the SS2, the square, you can see the shop lot are actually surrounding the market or empty plot or land. And you know that there is also a wet market inside the SS2 square. So it's actually surrounded. Some are facing inside the square, some are actually facing the housing area, the main road. As you can see, the green arrow, this commercial shop lot, why is so popular? You can see they can come in from every direction and every corner, left, right, up, down, or Dong Nam Sai Park. Every channel you can come into the commercial part. That means for business it's good everywhere you talk anyhow, you can just hop into the square easily without going into the big U-turn to turn it into the commercial space. And we know that during 1970, this time also PJ become a satellite city. And when more and more population expanded from KL, then people start to move to PJ. So PJ was actually one of the satellite city in Klang Valley. And today PJ already become a city after 30 over years. And so why SSU is so become so popular, and then because partly I will say because due to the population, you can see the surrounding SSU area. There's so many township has been developed, like BU 11, BU 12, or all the way BU 1 to BU 16, if I'm not mistaken. And then Damansara Jaya, Damansara Intan, Taman Tun, all these areas are full of a freehold residential area. A lot of people settled down here for 30 over years. I still remember when SSU shop lot was launched in 1970. It's only about 300,000-400,000, and today, later on we'll see how much it worth. Easily 5-6 million ringgit for 4-story. So that's why you can see this is how the successful township development is going on. And then we know that within the 3 kilometer and 5 kilometer, the population coverage is tremendously very, very high density. And now they keep on building condominium, high-rise apartment in this area. Eventually, the population will be getting higher and higher, and because of scarcity of the land, shop lot cannot be built anymore in this kind of area. There's no more land for them to do this kind of 2 or 3-story kind of shop lot. Another 20-30 years, this kind of shop lot also become an antique in one of the day. And because of the 267 units, provide a very good tenant mix, especially when you do business, right? If you do F&B business, or if you're doing pharmacy business, a tenant mix is very important. Initially, bank, when settled down in SSU, like Public Bank, Maybank, all the bank you name it actually is in SSU. They are the crowd puller for the commercial activities. Where is the bank? Then they say there is a people. Maybe those days, people like to hang out in bank. I don't know why. I think my father also, every week must go to the bank to make a round. Even though it doesn't withdraw a lot of money, 10 ringgit or 20 ringgit, those days very considered very good. They need to go to the bank. Those days without ATM card one, they still want to go to the bank to update their saving book. I don't know whether your father or your grandfather did all this or not. They like to go to the bank to print out to update their statement. So it's indirectly is bringing a lot of commercial activities over here. And today, SSU, I think you name everything, you have it. Morning has a morning crowd. Evening, there has an evening crowd. So that's why in Chinese say 不夜城, that means the business activity start in as early as 6 o'clock and can end up in midnight at 2 o'clock. Because what are the activities in the SSU during nighttime? F&B, karaoke, massage center, right? So that's why they are able to provide very good rental to the investor. So let's go into the valuation in SSU. How actually you can get the valuation? You can either go into the bricks.com or go to the property advisor to key in some of the SS2 area. Then you can find out, or you do a comparison. For this shop, 45 Jalan SS2 64, shop lot intermediate freehold, 3.5 story, transacted at 6 million ringgit in 2020. Hey, 2020 is still pandemic, right? But you can see it's still able to transact at 6 million. But similar kind of property, number 55, Jalan SS2 664. This property was transacted in the September 2016. Same 3.5 story, same size. It was actually 4.3 million. So over 4 years, wow, up about 1.7 million. So basically about 1 over million. So I think these people who invest in 2020, 6 million, after another 4 years, this property probably will go to 7.5 or 8 million ringgit. So this is how we can check the value from the system. in our ESP platform, you have all this to check the value for your client. And this kind of property, since the property is holding quite long, basically they don't have a lot of financial pressure for them to have a fire sales. Even during this year, the market is so bad, hardly see any fire sales in SS2 area. And then the renter also giving quite good ground floor, about 8,000 to 12,000 ringgit. Office range about 1,200 to 3,000 square feet, depends on the phasing. It depends whether the office inside, whether it come is semi-furnished or fully furnished. SS2 already how many years old? 1970. Today is 2021, almost 40 over 50 years old already. So 50 years old man, if the property did not overhaul or refurbish, technically you go in is a bit old office. Some of the staircase area, they still didn't actually upgrade. You can see running very badly. So if those shop houses, shop office, they upgrade to the current condition, they change a window to the nice window, and then putting a new tile, probably they demand higher rental. But generally, SS2 rental was actually quite good. Investor can get around 4% ROI. Right, we use a three method. Today we are using a three method to value the property. The first, most common method is a comparison method. I think most of the agents are using this. Banker also using this, and the valuer also using this method to calculate. So very easy. You just go to dive into the system and check the past transaction, get probably 3 or 4 transaction value to roughly calculate what is the value of your the property. So then you compare the location, size, and facade. The other second one is use profit method. Profit method using the rental return minus of the outgoing costs like quick rent, assessment, maintenance cost, utilities cost, electricity, everything. Then you can actually using the profit method to calculate the value of the property. The last one will be the least and less used method is a cost method. Cost method, actually you are using the land cost plus the new building cost less the depreciation to give a value. So cost method normally we use for the property actually very rundown or those property under fire already, about to collapse already. So they have to refurbish. So you use a cost method to value the property value. So I'm using these two story to do the comparison today. So I chose the SS2/6, SS2/75, SS2/30, SS2/24. All these shop are 2-story, 4-story, to come up with the valuation. Roughly after with this one, I will say this property, let's say, is selling between 2 to 2.5 million. It's considered within the market value. Anything below 2 million, that will be fire sales or good value, good buy. Anything above 2.5 million for the 2-story is considered above market value. But again, at the end of the day, buying shop lot because of the scarcity, because of the supply and demand, certain people look at things differently, different perspective, in a sense that they look at the future. They look at, I'm buying a shop lot, I'm not going to flip within 5 years. I'm going to hold it until my retirement age. Maybe I want to pass down this shop lot to my son, to my grandson. So the look at the value is much more further, even though 2.6, if the location is very good and inside the building is still very well maintained, all right, I think they will still go ahead. It's all depends on it. But when it comes to the bank financing, these are the challenge issue. They will use 2.5 million to give you the loan based on 80 or 85% margin. Another method that we are using is a profit method. So for freehold, this is my experience, and I look at it. I don't know why the freehold property is only can give ROI of 2.5 to 3.5%. Maybe because of freehold demand is higher. A lot of people, the buyer is still looking for freehold. That's why the seller say, oh, I don't give I don't want to budge my selling price, so I want to sell this kind of price. So the demand of the ROI is lesser, 2.5 to 3.5. When it comes to leasehold property, I'm surprisingly you can able to get 4 to 6% or 7% return for the leasehold property. So this is the norm. But if you handle this kind of property, then you know how are you going to position your value. And a very simple calculation, the market value is an annual net rental or divide by the yield. For example, I take one example of the shop office. Let's say you doesn't know what is the value of the shop. Why not you take the rental return? Let's say the rental return is 7,000 a month. That means the ground floor 5,000, upper floor 2,000. Because this is a two-story in SS2, normally you know the two-story in SS2 it doesn't in the square. It's outside the square like Chaoyang or maybe near slightly outside of the commercial square. The ground floor demand rental is actually lower compared to the square. The square is 8,000 to 12,000. Outside slightly about 5,000-6,000. So this one I pick up this property is a 7,000 rental. So 7,000 rental, I minus out the outgoing around 10%, clearing assessment, everything. I will say 10%. This is enough. Sometimes you have to do wear and tear, roof leaking, all this, right? So minus off the 700 ringgit per month, you times 12, you divide by ROI, let's say it's 3% because this is a freehold property. I'm able to get the value of 2.52. Is it similar to using the comparison method, right? This is also one of the method that you can use. If you want to print screen, perhaps, or maybe later on, you can request, you register your name with our ESP. We will give you this slide for free so that you can present the same thing to your clients. All right, another method is a cost method. Cost method is using market value equal to land value plus cost of new building minus of the depreciation. So there is an example. The property is a 25 years shop lot. Land area is 1,005 square feet. Build out area is 3,600 square feet. Land value in the area is 1,002 square feet. Cost of the new building is, I think, 180 ringgit because I'm going to build a nicer office. This is 180 inclusive for architect fee, engineering fee, using three-phase wiring, slightly better window. That's why it's a bit expensive, 180 ringgit per square foot. If you want to do Chin Chai Chai one, no tile on the floor, probably 120, 130 also can do lah. But those 120, 130 excluding the consultant fee. So I take this 180 and depreciation is 1.2% per year. Kind of a depreciation is fair. And let me calculate, dive in the calculation. The land value equal to 1,002 times 1,005, you get 1.8 million for the land cost. What if today the whole building burned down? The value of the land is 1.8 million without the structure. Let's say come with the structure, we'll minus off using the building cost 180 times 3,000. My rebuild cost for this kind of building roughly about 550,000. Then a depreciation of 1.2%. So basically depreciation 0.7. I use a market value 1.8%, 1.8 million plus 550,000 times 0.7. So my value is up about 2.185 million. So using cost method, a bit conservative, and bear in mind, normally we use cost method for those building very rundown, already have to rebuild. So for the investor, they pay lesser price because they probably had to wait for 1 year without any rental income. Then they also have to go through the hassle to submit their building plan or renovation plan to the local council to get approval. These are the opportunity costs we have to consider it. Clear? All right, move on. So the shop lot is so good, then we know that they also shop lot also there is a strength and a weakness. Let us go into the strength. Shop lot, the property value increase based on the surrounding land value. Very good for capital appreciation, especially SS2, all these freehold shop lot, Taman Mega. I know the Cheras also have a lot of Maruli. All these shop lot are doing very well rental because partly we cannot replace any shine or shop lot in those area already. So when you tear down, it's no more already. Basically, that's why the land cost is the one very expensive. As you know, the building cost it's not very expensive. Even though the property for 2 over million, your construction cost is only 500,000-600,000. The land cost is the value. So this is the strength, and you can buy shop lot to hedge for inflation. Especially you got few million ringgit in the bank, you can consider today political instability, oil price keep coming down, your ringgit devalue. So maybe you want to find certain product to hedge inflation, and you doesn't not a very savvy investor to buy a lot of flipping property as well. The most conventional one, they will just buy shop lot, because shop lot is you doesn't need to pay any JMB or management fee. It's very low maintenance. When you rent to the tenant, basically the tenant will simply move out, and whatever wear and tear, the tenant actually will taking care of it. Basically, the owner only had to take care the major structure and the roof leaking. And one good thing about the shop lot also, you have a freedom of signages. That's why you can go to the SS2 Damansara Utama, a lot of fancy kind of signages on the surface in front of the shop. You have a freedom to design all your signages. As long as the local council allow you to place the kind of signages, you are able to do it. And there is technically no restriction on the usage of the business. I still remember in Damansara Utama, before Starbucks, you know, when you go to Damansara Utama, the Starbucks, it was a car workshop before. It was a car workshop before. So during the time, quite dirty, because you know the car workshop, a lot of engine oil, a lot of all this sprayed on the floor. But after certain years, they transform. After Starbucks take over, they refurbish this. Now the corner is so nice, and but during that time, you can actually to rent to anybody you want to. There's no restriction. But to the certain JMB shop officer, they don't allow dirty business to run in the shop office. Like Oasis Square in Ara Damansara, you cannot run a car workshop at the ground floor. This is a restriction. So also because of this kind of shop giving a very good vicinity and a clear frontage to the business owner. This is also a plus point for the business owner. And then the weakness, we know that when we come to the shop lot, car park is a headache thing. When we want to go to SS2, the first thing we thought, how to get a car park, right? I think you know that when it comes to raining, even you find a car park, how to get out from the car. When SS2 want to go for hair salon or go to beauty salon, afternoon sun so hot, you know. These are the concerns for a lot of people. Don't know, when you get a car park, you have to walk to the shop. It's this long distance, so limited of car park become a weakness of the shop. And normally this kind of shop, because of no JMB to control, nobody actually refurbish the outlook of the shop. Then you can see some of the shop lot in the city center, and in some of the area, when you come to the stingy owner, they want to upgrade, they want to repaint their shop. Over 20-30 years, you can see a lot of fungus on the surface of the building. This is a sad thing. So when you go to certain this kind of area, you feel very old, you feel very run down. And then it's no uniformity of the signages. Or some people big, some people big small. Especially you can go to the SS2. I think they're having a war zone on the signages, especially for massage center. You can see the healthcare, putting a very huge signages cover the whole 4-story building. But there's another very small business owner also running a massage center, foot massage center next to it, but only giving a very small little signboard, 3 by 12 feet. You know how to compete when you are the investor. You go, let's say you are the consumer, the one you are trying to choose which massage center you want to go. You say, wow, one is big, one is small. I think basically you will go to the big one because you have been attracted by the big signages, right? So these are the challenges. But you come to the strata office, shop office, they have a restriction. You have to put either LED light or certain kind of size of signage so that it looks more unity. And then a lot of cases happen in the shop office, snatch thief lah, break your car to steal your laptop away. All these are happening in the shop lot area because basically they don't have a JMB to control all the security. These are the weakness that I can mention. But any kind of weakness you think of, maybe perhaps you can put in the chat box. Maybe you face some of the, there are some weakness of the shop lot. Please share with us. Let's have some interaction later on. All right. Also, when you select a shop lot, these are the common things you have to aware. You can see some of the shop lot is covered by a lot of tree, especially on my top left picture. The shop is actually covered by all the trees. I don't know why they're going to plant so much tree in front of the shop lot. Basically, the shop need vicinity. They want to let people to see, but they end up planting so much tree to cover all the vicinity of the shop. And the road level also lower than the shop. So basically, when the car pass by, they doesn't know, hey, what are the shop actually operating inside this commercial center. That's why the whole commercial center in this area are running very badly. The rental are so poor, all these things. Basically, when they launch this project, their brochure come out, it's very attractive because it's also a freehold property in PJ. A lot of people go and buy 1.8 million, 2 million ringgit. But today, when they hand over already, this is an actual fact. So they not even can generate a very good rental over there. The yield is so poor. So when you're buying shop lot, these are the things you have to aware. Try not to find a shop lot. There's so many trees in front of the premises. And then the other thing is because due to the road expansion, some of the shop on the main road, the local council take away the car park. You can see some of on the right hand side kind of the shop in the city center. There's not enough car park. There's not enough car park on the road. Basically, that's why nobody want to rent this kind of shop. Even though right in the city center, nobody visit there partly because of no car park available. Imagine you want to go there and eat something or shop. There's no car park over there. So these are the shop. Most likely they will be sell to a developer to tear down and build a higher building. Then they come with the basement car park or mechanical car park. And another weakness I also come across in the shop lot area, I don't know any successful shop lot that we come with the canopy one. If you come across any successful shop lot with the canopy one, please mention over here. I also want to do a research why they are successful. But basically, I found two property that is not successful in PJ area and one is in Puchong. They do cover. Basically, concept wise is very good, especially we'll cover. You can solve, especially the shopper come during raining day, or maybe they're very scared about the sun. Actually, the idea work perfectly, but I don't know why it doesn't turn out to be a rarity. When I come to visit this kind of area, I got a strange feeling. Every time I walk into this area in Ngau Che Soya and exact in Ara Damansara, I got a weird feeling because the moment you go inside, very dim. There's not enough sunlight. Very dim. Then basically, whole area is dying the feeling. So these are the area. Even though I go to Chinatown, even though Chinatown also got canopy, but Chinatown canopy is built after the shop lot doing so well. The local council trying to increase more rental for the local council. That's why they put a canopy and try to rent to more kiosks to generate a lot of rental. So these are the different scenario. And the other part, because of the recently a lot of LRT track, MRT track, or overhead bridge being built on the main road, especially those shop lot that is facing the LRT track, facing the MRT station. Do you think it's a very good? I don't know. I see some of the shop are not doing well. Is it because of the feng shui issue? Probably a lot of feng shui masters say, because you already having an overhead bridge, they're blocking the view. Overhead bridge, they're blocking the feng shui or whatever. That's why this shop that is facing all this track also started to doing not so well compared to those days. And then shop lot going through so much evolution, and then coming to all this during pandemic, especially last year and this year, people say people start to shop online. Less people are actually will go to the shop to dine in, or less people actually will need to go to the shop to buy things already. Frankly speaking, after the pandemic, we see how it goes, but I still believe those areas are the shop are actually located in the center of the housing area. Those kind of shop is still doing very well, as especially USJ 9, USJ 10, SS2, Uptown, Taman Tun, Bandar Putri, Subang Jaya. I believe it will transform, especially currently we receive a lot of grocery shop. They want a corner shop. Normally this kind of corner shop, it used to be owned by the mama store and restaurant. But recently, I see so many have been taken by the grocery shop. Maybe because people are scared going to the shopping center. People like to go to the shop and small little shop, grocery. They grab whatever they can, like vegetable, fruit, and daily product. Then they go. They want to live ASAP. They do not want to go into the giant Tesco kind of big, spend 1 hour inside that kind of probably that kind of a shopping mall anymore. So this is a demand now. And then the other type I will see the trend is coming is a cloud kitchen concept. Somebody is actually doing it. Do a shop, they provide a kitchen staff, everything. They provide a kitchen, a cloud kitchen. Anybody can just come in and cook and sell their own thing. Isn't it a very good idea? Especially let's say myself, let's say I doesn't like to show some property. I like to go to cook something. I can take maybe 2 hours off to go to the cloud kitchen to cook some of my best food to sell. Maybe. Okay. And then shop lot become also high demand for express service for F&B. Especially I know of a few brand actually coming up before the pandemic 2-3 months ago. One company come to me. They are looking for a shop lot to do express service. That means people coming in to grab the food, or they order the food already. They come in and grab the food and bring home. Or they can just heat it up at home. They can eat already. This kind of express services for F&B in high demand. And bank also, now you can see a lot of banks are now closing down their physical office. So these are the game changers for shop lot. And to invest in shop lot, I will say the location is very crucial, especially in future. And how to market marketing? What is a marketing strategy? Let's say you have the kind of shop lot listing, and these are the most commonly used, or perhaps if you can share your marketing, the very effective marketing, you can always type in the chat room. Normally for this kind of a shop, I use banner because a banner is very effective and good. Give a very good vicinity to the passersby. People who drop by, they see a banner, they will call. Especially this corner shop lot, you can see there's so much banner hanging on the shop lot. So see who is the lucky one to get the deal done. Easily, this ground floor is taking maybe 10,000 ringgit. The only setback is a bit because the shop lot is sunken inside under the road. So you have to go down. But anyhow, because this is a good location, they have a new concept to turn this shop lot into a very effective business shop. So I will call some of the investor, especially come to shop lot, right? It doesn't have a boundary for investor. Maybe some owner, some investor from Penang, some investor from overseas, or some investor from Johor Bahru, they want to come to KL to invest a shop lot. So to market shop lot, your market is so open. You can call some of the investor group to them, and then, hey, this is a good buy, one and only one. Especially during this pandemic, especially SS2, not because of pandemic, I think you hardly see any shop lot for sale in SS2 area. Or you can post it online, like Property Guru, iProperty, etc. Okay, or you can call some of the referral. You can call your buddy, who a business owner, or maybe talk to your neighbor, can see whether they want to buy over, or maybe they want to refer some friends to buy. These are all very good approach. And within your core agency, like especially you have this kind of shop lot, the first thing you need to do is post in the ESP platform. We have about 1,000 over agents looking at the listing. Those are actually joined. You can actually post all this listing in the ESP. Those that have not joined, please go to our Solidarity Beyond 2021 to like the Facebook page. These are free advertisements. So these are also one of the safest, so that you don't have to worry about our co-agent undercut me lah, steal my listing, because we are under one platform. If those people undercut, we will cut them off. So be safe. This is a very safe environment for us to work together. So basically, these are the marketing strategy that I use for marketing for commercial shop lot. If you have any other much more better idea, please share. All right, it's come to the Q&A session. It's right, 1 hour. My session is coming to the end already. You got any question? I hope I can answer you. Okay, let's go from the top. If you have any question, please type out. Will there be a challenge of a government reacquisition of the road widening? Okay, let's say the car park actually is belong to the local council. Basically, when they do the road widening, they will compensate some of the parking lot, maybe behind the shop lot. If you go to Jalan Pudu, near the Times Square area, near to the Pudu jail, it used to have some parking in front of the shop. Because of the road widening, you can't see any parking in front of the shop, but actually you can turn to the back. So the government purposely built some the parking at the back of the shop lot. So this is a less advantage, especially for the newcomer. They want to visit the place. They see, hey, how come I cannot stop my car in front of the shop? So they will just avoid this place. They will just pass by. So there is a possibility, but under the Land Acquisition Act, whatever the land acquisition is for the public benefit, the government have the right to acquire. Especially currently, they are building the MRT station. They also taken some of the shop lot away to build MRT station. So under the acquisition, the government will pay according to the value. Normally, they get a few valuer to quote what is the value of the shop. Then they give a compulsory acquisition to vacate the land. I think there are some certain shop in the Kajang areas, Cheras area also going through that kind of hassle. And parking issue near LRT, MRT. Yeah, I agree with Jimmy. Especially some of the shop lot near the LRT, MRT station, by right, actually it's a plus point, right? You are actually gaining a lot of visitor to come to the area to shop. But because people taking advantage, they come and park the car for the whole day because they just want to pay 5 ringgit for 1 day parking. Especially you can see the Kelana Jaya along the LTP side. They in the early morning, 6:30 or 7 o'clock, all the car park are occupied by the car already, all taken up already, because these people are working in KLCC. They don't want to drive. They just park the car there, pay 1 day 5 ringgit. They take a LRT to the city center to work. The rental is still, the parking is still cheaper than driving and going through the hassle jam to the KLCC area. So if your shop in front of the MRT station, LRT station, all these car park are occupied by these people, when a visitor want to come to your shop, they also hardly find any any car park. So this is a challenge. Cynthia have a rent control act So this one rent control act, frankly speaking, I have not have really dive in for this rent control act. Basically, I don't know whether it's passed already. Anybody can answer me? Is it the passed the rent control act already? Anybody dive in a study into rent control act? Okay, then GS big banner like what Adrian shared. The bigger is the better. Yeah lah. The bigger the signage you attract the crowd to come in. In terms of long-term investment, is Link Factory better or Shop Lot better? This question comes from Frank Lim. So factory better or shop lot better? Technically, if you let's say look at the ROI, Link Factory immediate return, Link Factory can get a better ROI compared to the shop, because some of the shop at the very established area, you can see some of the very established area, 2 million ringgit, your yield is only 2.5, because these sellers are not hurry to sell. And come to Link Factory, maybe you can get up to 4 or 5%. But frankly speaking, in the real reality, most of the people who invest in the Link Factory, they are those end user more than investor. Because Link Factory, technically, let's say you're having all these 2-3 million ringgit, the investor most probably will go to the shop lot better. Reason, the size are bigger and the maintenance are also lesser. Come to Link Factory, your maintenance fee is very high, especially come to rent Link Factory. What are those tenants? Either car workshop lah, or car repair one, or maybe putting some construction assembly shop. All those are small little factory. When they come to the small little factory, they are still trying out their business. May not be very established, but certain area, Link Factory are doing quite well. One I will name it Sunway. Especially the Link Factory beside the Sunway University. It used to be the 2-story Link Factory. Partly also evolution from the Link Factory. Now they transform to a car accessory shop. I think if you want to modify your car in Klang Valley, I think the people normally go to the Klang Valley, Grand Mary, or go to the Sunway factory area, because those are very small shop. The factory 22 by 75, and you can see all kind of modified factory over there. So basically, when you come to all this, they can pay higher return. The factory demand also getting higher, than the selling price also doing well. But not many locations actually transform into this. But if you can let's say you can go to the Puchong TTP5. Puchong TTP5 is also similar to Sunway, but Puchong TTP5 may not generate the kind of rental, the kind of environment for the investor. So if you want to compare factory or shop, I would say don't buy developer unit. Go and buy sub-sale, safer. Because when you buy developer unit, you're having the risk, because you don't know what it come to. Especially when you hand over, especially a lot of developers when promise they want to build certain things, or open the road access, or doing a traffic light in front so let the flow to come in, or want to build an overhead bridge to smoothen the traffic. All these plans, maybe they will delay due to the economic situation, or maybe due to the finances. They cannot build in time. Probably when your shop lot hand over already, they has not built those things, so you see some of the shop lot already hand over and not doing well. The moment the shop not doing well for 5 years, it's very struggling for them to become vibrant again. This is my experience. If can, for shop lot investment, you look at least 10 to 20 years kind of investment term. And even though the price is slightly higher, never mind, go for it, because our ringgit guarantee will depreciate over the time. All right, and when this to another one from Joanne. Any idea how to market Plaza Pantai or Akabangsa Trade Center? This one is antique. Somehow, this place unable to attract any tenant or buyers when the rate are very attractive. It's freehold and a built-in LRT station. Sales price should be around 450 and the rental 280. This one I have a good experience. I also marketed this area before. One of my owner asked me to rent out. But this one now, frankly speaking, I think have to do with feng shui. Sometimes a lot of feng shui masters say to do with feng shui. Location is Bangsar area, right? Facing LRT station and also facing Federal Highway, freehold. Why when the property hand over in 1997, 1998, and until today, they're still facing a lot of difficulties to rent. I asked a lot of people, investors, they are not coming in, and even the tenant going in for a while, they move out again. It's a lot of issue. Partly, the parking is very expensive. Earlier on, the strata title also got issue because of the developer when during 1997 they're facing some issue. The title also cannot be issued. And then come to feng shui aspect, they say Plaza Center is a heart. You see, this whole building, there is a one LRT station track punch through. Or this are your heart punch through by an arrow. So you still can live or not? I don't know. Maybe you should ask Amanda Leong. Like yesterday, we had one feng shui master take this case and ask her, is it because of the feng shui? That's what I can explain to you. We try very hard. That's why the tenant, the chi not stable, moving out, not doing well, move out again. Restaurant, it used to be having a big Korean restaurant buffet. I think you pay 22 ringgit, eat all you want, but only good for a while, 3-4 months or 6 months, then not doing well again. Surprise. And you see the area UOA Bangsar, Mid Valley, and opposite this Pantai, we call it Bangsar South. The rental are fetching about 450 for office space. Ground floor 6 ringgit to 8 ringgit. Different of freehold and leasehold. What it means, basically we have all the property is either freehold or leasehold. So maybe Frankie can elaborate more about what you want to ask, leasehold or freehold related to which. So am I answer all the question? If I'm answer all the question, thank you very much for all your time. Thank you, and see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Thank you. Back to Kai.
All right, Dr. Adrian, thank you so much for your time. That was a fantastic session. I think a very good start to volume 1 of commercial properties. We understand the specs, the ins and outs, and of course, there are questions as well. Just a last reminder, quick one for all 50, 60, 70, 80, however many people that are in our program. For all of you that are in our program, keep it flooding the questions next time moving forward, because not every day we will have a very good chance to learn from someone like Dr. Adrian. So his volume 2 will be coming out as well, and we'll be putting it down our training line. So please stay excited, stay motivated, and just before we end, there's the feedback scan over there. Please do scan, drop us some feedback. Hope you all like the commercial briefing, and I hope you all want to see more of it. So if you all want to see more of it, please do make sure you drop in the feedback on those trainings that you like, so that we can continue to improve and provide more for our Solidarity group. So ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure to share this session with everyone. See you tomorrow again at 3 p.m. See you in Solidarity. Bring in your good energy at 3 p.m. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And on behalf of everyone, thank you so very much, Dr. Adrian Wang.